Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We from the first group would like to present dilutive securities and earning per share. Previously, I will introduce the members of the first group. Team 1, Nur Muhammad Abdullah. 2, Anissa Deaka. 3, Triani. 4, Ira Heni Risdayanti. 5, Iin Wulandari. 6, Muhammad Naufaldi Maulana. Debt and equity. Many of the controversies related to the accounting for financial instruments such as share option, convertible securities, and preference share relate to whether company report these instruments as a liability for as equity. Convertible debt. Bonds which can be changed into other corporate securities are called convertible debt. Benefit of bond, guaranteed interest and principal. 2. Privilege of change it for the share. At a holder option, corporation issue convertible for two main reasons. 1. To raise equity capital without giving up more ownership control and necessary. 2. To obtain debt financing at cheaper rates. Accounting for convertible debt. Convertible debt is accounted for as compound instrument. Companies use the with and without method to value component instrument. Fair value of convertible debt at date of issuance with both debt and equity components, less fair value of liability component at date of issuance based of present value of cash values, equal equity component at date of issuance without the debt component. Implementation of the with and without approach. First, determine total fair value of convertible debt with both the liability and equity component. Second, determine liability component by computing net present value of all contractual future cash flows discounted and the market rate of interest. Finally, subtract liability component estimated in second step from fair value of convertible debt issue process to arrive at the equity component. Roche Group (CHI) issue 1,000 convertible bonds at the beginning of 2015. The bonds have a 4-year term with a state rate of interest of 6% and are issued at the par with a face value of 1,000 per bond. The total proceeds received from issuance of the bonds are 2 million. Interest is payable annual at December 31. Each bond is convertible into 250 ordinary shares with a par value of 1. The market rate of interest on similarly non-convertible debt is 9%. Answer. Present value of principal 2 million times 70843 table 6 less 2 and equal for I equal 9% equal 1,460,000 and 80,960. Present value of the interest payment 120 times 323972 table 6 less 4 and equal 4 I equal 9% equal 388 and 766. Present value of the liability component equal 1,805 and 6,026. Fair value of convertible debt at date of incurred 2 million less fair value of liability component at date incurred 1,805 and 6,026. Fair value of equity component at date of issuance 194 and 374. The journal is cash 20 million, bonds payable 1,805 and 60 and 6,006. Share premium less conference equity 194 and 394. Repurchase at maturity. Statement of convertible bonds. If the bonds are not converted at maturity, Roches makes the following entry to pay off the convertible debt holders. Bonds payable 2 million, cash 2 million. Conversion of bonds at maturity. If the bonds are converted at maturity, Roches makes the following entry. Share premium less conference equity 194 and 394. Bonds payable 2 million. Share capital less ordinary 40,000. Share capital ordinary 500. Share premium less ordinary 1,694 and 3,094.
And next, this is table of illustration of convertible bond amortization schedule. In 1 January 2015, it have carrying amount of bond about 1,805,626, and then in 12 December 2015, they have cash paid about 102,000 and minus interest expense 162,506 equals 42,505. So the carrying amount of bonds in 12 December 2015 is 1,848,132, and so on. Have a same calculation. And next, this is a continuing of the previous example. Assuming that Roche converts its bonds into ordinary shares on 31 December 2016. The journal is share premium conversion equity in debt about 194,374. Bonds payable in debt to about 1,894,464. Share capital ordinary in credit about 500,000. The calculation is from 2,000 convertible bonds times 250 ordinary shares times 1 euros. So the equal is 500,000. And then share premium ordinary in credit is about 1,588,838. And next slide is about repurchase before maturity. This is an illustration example. Assume fair value of convertible debt including both liability and equity component based on market price at 31 December 2016 is 1,965,000. Next assume is the fair value of the liability component is 1,904,900. This amount is based on computing the present value of a non-convertible bond with a 2-year term, which corresponds to the shortened time to maturity of the repurchased bonds. And next is the answer to the calculation from the previous slide that first, determine the gain or loss on the liability component. Present value of liability component at 31 December 2016 given about 1,904,900 minus carrying value of liability component at 31 December 2016 from per illustration 16.5 is about 1,894,464 equals loss on repurchase about 10,436. And the next calculation is determine any adjustment to the equity. First, fair value of convertible debt at 31 December 2016 with equity component is about 1,965,000 less fair value of liability component at 31 December 2016 similar to year's non-convertible debt is about 1,904,900 equals fair value of equity component at 31 December 2016 without debt component is about 60,100. So the journal is bonds payable in debt about 1,894,494 and share premium conversion equity in debt to about 60,100 and then loss on repurchase in debt to about 10,436 and cash in credit about 1,965,000. And next is induced conversion. The explanation is as follows. Issuer to encourage prompt conversion. Issuer offer additional consideration called a sweetener to induce conversion. Sweetener is an expense of the period. The illustration is Helloit Incorporated has outstanding 1 million par value convertible debentures convertible into 100,000 ordinary shares, $1 par value. When issued, Helloit record share premium conversion equity of $5,000. Helloit wished to reduce its annual interest cost. To do so, Helloit agrees to pay the holder of its convertible debentures an additional 80,000 if they will convert. Assuming conversion occurs, Helloit makes the following entry. And next slide is the answer calculation from previous slide. The journal is conversion expense in debt. The calculation is from 80,000 minus 15,000 equal 65,000. Share premium conversion equity in debt is about 15,000. Bonds payable in debt to is about 1 million. Share capital ordinary in credit is about 100,000. Share premium ordinary is about 900,000. Cash in credit is about 80,000. And the next slide is convertible preference shares. Convertible preference shares include an option for the holder to convert preference shares into a fixed number of ordinary shares. Convertible preference shares are not compound instruments because they have only an equity component. As a result, convertible preference shares are reported as a part of equity. When preference shares are converted or repurchased, there is no gain or loss recognized. The rationale is a company does not recognize a gain or loss involving transaction with its existing shareholders. And next slide is the answer calculation from previous slide about convertible preference shares. The illustration is Morse issues 1,000 convertible preference shares that have a par value of €1 per share. The shares were issued at a price of €200 per share. The journal entry to record this transaction is as follows. Cash, the calculation is 1,000 times €200 in debt is about 200,000. Share capital preference, the calculation is 1,000 times €1 in debt is about 1,000. Share premium conversion equity in credit is about 199,000. The next illustration, if each share is subsequently converted into 25 each ordinary shares, €2 par value, that have a fair value of 410,000. The journal entry to record the conversion is as follows. Share capital preference in debt is about 1,000. Share premium conversion equity in debt 199,000. Share capital ordinary in credit, the calculation is 1,000 times 25 times €2 is about 50,000. Share premium ordinary in credit is about 150,000. The next, the illustration is if the convertible preference shares are repurchased at the fair value instead of converted. Morse makes the following entry. Share capital preference in debt is about 1,000. Share premium conversion equity is about 199,000. Retained earnings is in debt is about 210,000. Cash in credit is about 410,000.
Share warrant. Warrants are certificates entitling the holder to acquire shares at a certain price within a set period. Normally, are issued under three situations. 1. To make the securities more attractive. Existing shareholder has a prepaid right to purchase ordinary shares. Third, to executive and employees as a form of compensation. Share warrants issued with other securities. Warrants issued with other securities are basically long-term options to buy ordinary shares at a fixed price. 1. Generally, the life of warrant is 5 years, occasionally 10 years. 2. Companies should use the with and without method to allocate the proceeds between the two components. Illustration. At one time, Sysman AG issued bonds with detachable 5-year warrants. Assume that the 5-year warrant provides the option to buy one ordinary share for value €5 at €25. At the time, an ordinary share of Siemens was selling for approximately €30. This warrant enables Sysman to price its bond offering with a 10 million face value, a with an 8.3% yield with a bit lower than prevailing rate at the time. In this example, Sysman was able to sell the bond plus the warrants for €10,200,000. To account for the proceeds from the sale, Sysman used the with and without method. Using the approach, Sysman determined the present value of the future cash flow related to the bond, which is $9,707,852. Using this approach, Siemens determines the present value of the future cash flow related to the bond, which is €9,707,852. Fair value of bond which warrants €10,200,000 less fair value of liability component at date of issue $9,707,852, so that equity component at date of issue at €492,148. The bond sales at a discount. Siemens records the sales as follows: cash or bond payable at $9,707,852. In addition, Siemens sells warrants and makes the following entries: cash and share premium share warrant at $492,148. Assuming investor exercise all 10,000 warrants, one warrant for one ordinary share, Siemens makes the following entries: cash 10,000 times €25 at 250,000. Share premium share warrants at 492,148, and share capital ordinary 10,000 times €5 at 50,000, and share premium ordinary at 692,148. accounting for share compensation. Share option plan. Two main accounting issues. One, how to determine compensation expense, and two, over what period to allocate compensation expense. For example, on November 2014, the shareholder of same company approved a plan that grants the company's 5 executive options to purchase 2,000 shares each of the company's 100 fair value ordinary shares. The company granted the option on January 1, 2015. The executives may exercise the option at any time within the next 10 years. The option price per share is 6,000 and the market price of share at the date of grant is 7,000 per share. Under the fair value method, the company computes total compensation expense by applying an acceptable fair value option price model, as the Black-Scholes option pricing model. To keep this illustration simple, we assume that the fair value option price model determines then total compensation expense to be 22 million. Basic entry assume that the expected period of benefit is 2 years, starting with the grant date. Some will record the transaction related to this option contract as follows. The journal is 31 December 2015. Compensation expense and share premium share option at 11 million and 31 December 2016. Compensation expense and share premium share option at 11 million.
Exercise. If Jan executive exercise 2,000 of 20,000 option, 20% of the option on 1 June 2018, 3 years and 5 months after date of grant, the company record the following journal entry. 1 June 2018. Cash 12 million. Share premium share option 4,400,000. Share capital ordinary 200,000. Share premium ordinary 16,200,000. Expiration. The Chan's executive failed to exercise the remaining share option before their expiration date. The company records the following at the date of expiration. 1 January 2025. Share premium share option 17,600,000. Share premium expired share option 17,600,000. Earning per share. Earning per share shows the profit earned by its common stock. As such, the company reports earning per share only for ordinary share. Usually, companies report earning per share information below net income on the income statement. Example, if Oscar Co. has a net profit of 300,000 and a weighted average of 100,000 common share outstanding that year's earnings per share are 300,000 divided 100,000. Net profit of 300,000. Earning per share of 3. If there are activities or operations that are stopped, then the company is required to report earning per share from continued operation and net income on the home page on the income statement. Earning per share. Profit from continued operation of 4. Loss from operation stopped 0.60. Net profit of 3.40. Earning per share, a simple capital structure. The company's capital structure is called simple if it only consists of ordinary share or does not cover potential ordinary share with after conversion or execution can dilute earning per share. The basic earning per share calculation for a simple capital structure involves 2 items other than net income. 1. Preferred stock dividend. 2. The weighted average number of shares outstanding. Preferred stock dividend. When a company has ordinary share and preferred share in circulation, it will reduce the dividend of preferred share in the current years from net income to obtain profit available to ordinary shareholders. Earning per share, net profit minus preferred stock dividend divided average number of count of share outstanding. Weighted average number of shares outstanding. The rationale for this approach is to find an equivalent amount of all shares outstanding for the years. Example: date January 1. Change of share. Initial balance is outstanding share 90,000. April 1. Change of share. Issue 30,000 share in cash from outstanding share 30,000. Amount of outstanding share 120,000. Date July 1. Change of share bought 39,000 share of outstanding share 39,000. Amount of outstanding share 81,000. Date November 1. Change of share issue 60,000 share in cash from outstanding share 60,000. Date December 31. Change of share final balance outstanding share 141,000. How to calculate the weighted average number of shares outstanding? Date January 1 for April. Outstanding share 90,000. Of the year's fraction 3 divided 12 of the weighted share 22,500. Date April 1 for July 1. Outstanding share 120,000. Of the year fraction 3 divided 12 of the weighted share 30,000. Date July 1 for November 1. Outstanding share 81,000. Of the year's fraction 4 divided 12 of the weighted share 27,000. Date November 1 for 31 December. Outstanding share 141,000 of the year fraction 2 divided 12 of the weighted share 23,500. Average amount weighted share outstanding 103,000.
Earnings per share complex capital structure. Complex capital structure occurs when a company has the effect of conversion, option, warrants, or other things that at the time of conversion or execution that can dilute earnings per share. When a company has a complex capital structure, the company reports basic earnings per share and diluted earnings per share. Dilutive EPS includes the effect of all potential dilutive ordinary shares that were outstanding during the period. EPS equals net income less preference dividends divided with average share outstanding, less impacts of convertibles, less impacts of option, warrants, and other dilutive securities. So, the formula for getting basic EPS result is EPS equals net income less preference dividends dividends with less average share outstanding. Whereas for finding diluted EPS is EPS equals net income less preference preference dividends divided weighted less average shares outstanding, less impacts of convertibles, less impacts of option, warrants, and other dilutive security. Companies will not report dilutive EPS if the securities in their capital structure are anti-dilutive. Diluted EPS convertible securities measure the dilutive effects of potential conversion on EPS using the if converted method. This method for a convertible bond assumes number 1, the conversion at the beginning of the period in parentheses or at the time of issuance of the security if issued during the period, and number 2, the elimination of related interest net of tax. Illustration: Milford Corporation has net income of 210,000 for the year and a weighted average number of ordinary shares outstanding during the period of 100,000 shares. The basic earnings per share is therefore 2.10. In parentheses, 210,000 divided 100,000. The company has two convertible debenture bond issues outstanding. One is a 6% issue sold at 100 in parentheses equals 1 million in a prior year and convertible into 20,000 ordinary shares. Interest expense for the current year related to the liability component of this convertible bond is 62,000. The order is a 7% issue sold at 100 in parentheses equals 1 million on April 1 of the current year and convertible into 32,000 ordinary shares. Interest expense for the current year related to the liability component of this convertible bond is 80,000. The tax rate is 40%. So, calculating in illustration that basic APS net income equals 210,000 divides weighted average shares equals 100,000 equals 2.10. When calculating diluted APS, begin with basis APS. Basic APS 6% debentures and 7% debentures. 210,000 plus 62,000 times in parentheses 1 less 40 plus 80,000 times in parentheses 1 less 40 times 9 divided 12 divided 100,000 plus 20,000 plus 24,000 and then basic EPS equals 2.10 effects on EPS equals 1.86 effects on EPS 12 equals 1.50 diluted EPS equals 1.97. Next, diluted EPS convertible securities. The conversion rate on a dilutive security may change during the period in which the security is outstanding. In this situation, the company uses the most dilutive conversion rate available. For convertible preference shares, the company does not subtract preference dividends from net income in computing the numerator. Why not? Because for purpose of computing EPS, it assumes conversion of the convertible preference shares to outstanding ordinary shares. Illustration with EPS with preference shares. 1 January 1, 2015. Land Company issued 1 million of 6% convertible preference shares were issued. Each 100 preference share is convertible into 5 ordinary shares of land. Land's net income in 2015 was 240,000 and its tax rate was 40%. The company had 100,000 100,000 ordinary shares outstanding throughout 2014. Instruction computes diluted earnings per share for 2015.
Okay, the next is slide 39. Illustration. Compute diluted EPS for 2015. When calculating diluted EPS, begin with basis EPS. Net income 240,000 means VFD times div times 60,000 divided weighted average share equals 100,000 equals 1.80. 1 million times 6% equals 60,000 divided. Okay, next is slide 40. Illustration. Compute diluted EPS for 2015. When calculate diluted EPS, begin with basis EPS. Diluted EPS 240,000 60,000 plus 60,000 equals 240,000 divided 100,000 plus 50,000 equals 150,000 equals 1.60. Okay, the next at slide 41. Diluted EPS option and warrant. Measure the diluted effect of potential conversion using the treasury share method. This method assumes 1. Company exercise the option or warrant at the beginning of the year, and 2. That it uses those proceeds to purchase ordinary shares for the treasury. Okay, the next slide 42. Illustration. Cubits Industry Inc. has net income for the period of 220,000. The average number of shares outstanding for the period was 100,000 shares. Hence, basic EPS ignoring all diluted securities is 220. The average number of shares related to option outstanding at an option price of 20 per share is 5,000 shares. The average market price of the ordinary share during the year was 28. Compute EPS using the treasury share method. Okay, the next is slide 43. Basic earnings per share, diluted earnings per share. One, average number of shares related to option outstanding in diluted earnings per share is 5,000, and option price per share is 20. Next, 5,000 times 20 together with 100,000, and that is proceed upon exercise of option. Next, average market price of ordinary share is 28. Treasury share that could be repurchased with proceeds 100,000 divided 28 together with 3,571. Exchange of shares under option over the treasury shares that could be repurchased. 5,000 means 3,571 means potential ordinary incremental shares, together with 1,429. Average number of ordinary shares outstanding in basic earnings per share 100,000, in diluted earnings per share 100,000. Total average number of ordinary shares outstanding and potential ordinary shares 100,000 A in basic earnings per share, and diluted earnings per share is 101 429 C. And net income for the year in basic earnings per share 220,000 D, and in diluted earnings per share 220,000 D. In earnings per share in basic earnings per share 2.20 B divided by AA. In diluted earnings per share 2.17 D divided C. Okay, the next is slide 44. Continually issuable share. Ordinary share issuable for little or no cash consideration upon satisfaction of specific conditions in a contingent share agreement. Anti-dilution revisited, or anti-dilutive securities in all calculations and in computing diluted earnings per share. Okay, the next at slide 45, EPS presentation and disclosure. A company sold so per share amount for 1. Income from continuing operation. 2. Discontinued operation. And 3. Net income. Per share amounts for a discontinued operation should be present on the face of the income statement or in the notes to the financial statement. Okay, the next at slide 46. Earnings for ordinary share. Basic earnings per share 3.30. Diluted earnings per share 2.70. Basic earnings per share. Income from continuing operations 3.80 minus discontinued operation loss 0.80 together with 3.00, that is net income. Diluted earnings per share. Income from continuing operation 3.35 minus discontinued operation loss 0.65 together with 2.70, that is net income. Okay, the next slide 47. Summary of EPS computation from simple capital structure, single presentation of EPS, to compute income applicable to ordinary share, net income minus preference dividends, to compute weighted average number of ordinary shares outstanding, to EVS together with income applicable to ordinary shares divided weighted average number of ordinary shares. Okay, the next is slide 48 from complex capital structure, dual presentation of EPS. To the left, basic earnings per share. Formula: income applicable to ordinary share divided weighted average number of ordinary shares. To the right, diluted earnings per share include all potentially dilutive securities. To convertible securities, always include if dilutive. To option and warrant, always include if dilutive. To contingent issuance agreement, always include if dilutive. Formula: income applicable to ordinary share adjusted for interest net of tax and preference dividends on all dilutive securities, divided weighted average number of ordinary shares assuming maximum dilution from all dilutive securities.
That's all the first group presentation. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.